I just moved to town, and he's like, oh, I'm a songwriter. He's like, yeah, I wrote a couple songs for George Strait. He's like, I wrote a song called Tennessee Whiskey. And I was like, okay, cool. You wrote Tennessee Whiskey, yeah. And we talked for a bit. I was there for maybe like an hour or two, and he's like, that's crazy, you're a drummer. I'm going to book you on a session. And I was like, okay, yeah, book me on a session. And his name was Dean Dillon. And I Googled him, and he wrote like 90% of George Strait songs. He wrote The Chair. He wrote like all these things. But like a month goes by, and he calls me, and he goes, hey, I'm just looking at my calendar. Like, when are you available? He's like, all right, cool. I'm going to book you. And I was like, I have no idea what a session is. Like, I'm going to play drums, but like, I was like the newbie guy that was like, I'm a session drummer. Yeah, you know, I'm ready for a session. You know, I'd played.
What is a session?
Right. No, like
that could be its own podcast.
I'm ready to learn. So I get to the studio, and this guy gets out. His name's Jim. He's Bob Seger's keys player. And his name is Moose. Everyone's like, yeah, Moose. Yeah, he's incredible. And I'm like, sick. Okay. And so I got there, and he was like, yeah, just go inside. Like, you're really early. Dean was like the last one there. And all these people start rolling in. It's just like awesome players. Like Adam Schoenfield plays lead for Tim McGraw. Dan Dugmore plays pedal steel. I think Casey Musgraves posted recently, and she was like in the studio, Dan. And I was like, I was a month in to town, not knowing anything across from this guy. And he was just looked at me so tired. And we were like from the camera, he's like that close to the kit. I'm like, this guy's going to be so pissed at me. Like after we start. So you have like basically all these A-class players. You got this guy, Kevin Swine, on bass, and just me. And I'm a guest of Dean.
Right.
And so these guys don't know I'm new. So they probably thought like, oh yeah, this guy's probably incredible. Like,
right?
And this guy's a session drummer. Yeah. And so we just go in the control room, and they have a whole stack of like these charts, and I don't know charts.
Oh my god,
I'd never heard of the Nashville number system. And they hand around these pieces of paper, and I'm looking at like hieroglyphics, and I'm like, I'm just gonna hold. Everyone seems to be holding this sheet, so I'm just gonna like hold it, and I'm just like, man, none of these are music notes. I'm like, so do I just like come in? Or should I like let it breathe a bit and like go? And he's like, just do what you do. And I'm like, yeah, just do what I do. Yeah,
totally.
Yeah, it's always just, I just do what I always do because I'm a session drummer.
This is the best story. Continue.
Yeah, so we get in, and we just like, he's like, Chris, count us off. I'm like, oh, count us off. And so I just count it. But you're playing with those guys. It's like riding a wave. You know, everything just flowed.